So my name is David Kennard. I run a project in West Wales called Neptune's Army of Rubbish Cleaners. We were formed in 2005, and in that year we had carried out 6 cleanups underwater, and since then the project has just grown and grown and grown. Neptune's Army of Rubbish Cleaners was formed on, the idea was put in place one Boxing Day in 2004 between myself and another lad from my old rugby club, and he worked for Keep Wales Tidy at the time, Will Lowe, and the project has just gone from there. And like a lot of good things, isn't it? A lot of projects are put in place over a pint or a cup of tea and a friendly get together, you know. And after doing that, then I was putting up posters then in that season, in our first season, in the local dive shops then to try and get us volunteers. And I'd gone down like a SpongeBob routine. So I did one and it had bikini bottom in need of cleaning, contact Dave N.A.R.C. And that sort of quirky, fun sort of thing helped in a way and brought in a good chunk of volunteers, because with any project you do, it's hard to start from nothing. And especially when it's slightly quirky like this is, it's like in the beginning, people just think you're all a bit nuts. They're probably right, we probably are a bit nuts, but you know, I mean, some of the dive sites we do are quite challenging. Less than a metre viz, very tidal, big spring tides. But yet, you know, we're still able to find a lot of rubbish and remove the debris off the seabed, get it into a skip and it'll be removed off site. One of the dives at Stackpole Quay, when we were in one of our first years, we had managed to collect 730 fishing weights, which equated to about 80 kilograms of lead. With regards to the ghost gear aspects of what we do, the best we did in one day, we retrieved 19 lost lobster pots and released about 180 shellfish. With N.A.R.C, as a group, we go off, we collect litter off the seabed, but we have divers from all agencies, but they have to be trained up to a certain level before they come out with us. We are not a diver training agency. We take divers from various agencies who have already had a skill set in hand, which is of use to us as a dive group. So today, with the dive we've been doing here at Hobbs Point today, N.A.R.C has been joined by the WET tour team, which is the Western Ecology Tour. And to be fair, they provided the majority of the volunteers today. We did have a few of our own, but this is during the week, so it's harder for people to get time off work. But you know, I mean, it's with projects like this and collaborations that things work and projects go from strength to strength. I think the key thing for marine conservation projects is expansion and more groups of like ourselves throughout wherever these other people may be. And it takes one person to decide that they would like to do something about an issue that might be in their area. It's hard to run a volunteer group to keep the same volunteers going. So I have a system in place that we run, and it seems to run well, and means then that we're always able to accommodate new volunteers. Even in these tricky times of COVID-19, we've still been able to take on new volunteers and show them the ropes. And you know, marine conservation seems to be a bit more appealing to a lot of people these days. I like to think that what we do, you know, is a great conservation project, and it's important that it's seen as that. It's also a volunteer project, which is great, but it's done safely and it's done in a fun manner. And I think that's what's really important, is to make the connections of those three. Otherwise, people are just going to lose interest. And it's very hard to do like a conservation project where you think that you're constantly up against it, but you can't think that. You've got to think that I'm doing the best I can, and all the other volunteers the same. So we're just trying to make a difference on our own little patch here in West Wales.
Hi, welcome to MTV Cribs.
And this is where the magic happens.
So we just got back from Martin Savouring now, which is part of the Scomer Marine Nature Reserve, a beautiful dive site in Pembrokeshire with a maximum depth of 30 metres right off the shoreline. So beautiful Gorgonian soft coral, the pink sea fan, just up on a ledge. Most of the dive team got to see that, while the other guys, they were hanging out down in the shallow areas looking at the scallop beds and the lobsters and a couple of jellyfish as well. So not a bad dive all in all.
Dive day 6 on Expedition Wet, and here we are at Stackpole Quays, which is where we're ending our expedition. Quite fitting really, that we've had a great dives all week, and finally a bit of it all come together really. And we saw maybe upwards of a dozen cat sharks on this dive, which has been an excellent finish to the expedition. No one's died, so that's always promising. We're all out of the water now, we're all putting our kit away, and the way to finish, like all these well strips, hot drink and a scone, courtesy of the National Trust.
Right, so now we're wrapping up the end of the expedition, and I just want to have a massive shout out to all the supporters and sponsors that have helped us stay warm, safe, clean and organised throughout the expedition. First off, I've got Becca at N.A.R.C, then Autumn at Stream to Sea, Norman at Gear Aid, Cara at Northern Diver, Ross at Dry Robe, Tom at O3, Emily through Medina, I've got Zach and Lawrence at Finisterre, I've got Naomi at Neptune, I've got Jimmy at Orca Torch, Ivan at Dive Now Work Later, and last but certainly not least, Chris at Canary Divers. All the kit and equipment you gave us, it made a massive impact in making us enjoy and be able to get through the expedition without much of a drama. The final biggest shout out is those people that helped support us by raising some money to give back to the projects that we're trying to highlight, support and show off throughout the UK as part of sustainable diving and the science that goes behind some of the projects that we're involved in. So thanks everyone, you've made a massive impact and made this such an enjoyable experience for us. So thanks very much.
I'd say that the expedition's been a huge success, not only in terms of what we've seen, where we've dived, but also in what we've accomplished as a team. So I think that we've been able to show that the UK has amazing dive sites and it has amazing wildlife. Okay, there are some areas where you do have to go and look for it, but that's one of the greatest joys of diving in the UK, is being able to go out and explore and have to really look for those little animals, so that when you do find them, it's more satisfying that you found that animal.
My name is Ollie and I'm joining Expedition Wet on Ep3 in the Pembrokeshire coast, and it's great because we've been able to dive these amazing, beautiful locations. I am the social media manager for BZAC, and we've recently relaunched their YouTube channel as well, so it's been fantastic being able to meet these other divers from around the UK and be able to share lots of ideas together.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Jones. I'm an underwater videographer and equipment technician at Haven Diving Services. I'll be joining the Western Ecology Tour as a dive guide on the final leg of the expedition in Pembrokeshire, West Wales. And I'll also be introducing the team to some rubbish diving with Neptune's army of rubbish cleaners.